You ever notice how science fiction seems to predict the future sometimes? Like it's got this weird knack for it?
Right.
Well, today we're looking at something that sounds straight out of a movie. Dark energy machines.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how often those sci-fi ideas end up having at least a little bit of a basis in, actual science.
Exactly.
And dark energy is definitely a real thing.
It is.
One of the biggest mysteries in astrophysics, really.
So for everyone listening, dark energy is this mysterious force, right?
Uh-huh.
That's pushing the universe to expand, but faster and faster all the time. And scientists still don't totally get it, but they know it makes up most of the universe's total energy. Yeah, the vast majority. It's pretty wild.
It's a pretty wild thought.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You have this truly immense interconnected web of galaxies.
Yeah.
And instead of slowing down like you'd expect them to because of gravity,
Right.
they're actually like speeding up, moving apart faster and faster.
Wow.
So something's fighting gravity on a cosmic scale.
And that's what we call dark energy.
So, okay, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
Back in 1998, astronomers were studying these distant supernovae,
Right.
and they expected to see, the universe's expansion slowing down.
Yeah, that's what everyone thought would happen.
Makes sense, right?
Uh-huh.
But what they found was like the exact opposite.
It was a total shock.
Yeah.
The universe's expansion wasn't slowing down at all. It was speeding up.
Yeah.
It like shook the foundations of cosmology. It really did. Think of like gravity as this invisible force pulling everything together. Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam,
Yeah.
you realize there's this other force, even more powerful,
Uh-huh.
that's pushing everything apart.
So it's like a cosmic tug of war.
Yeah, exactly.
And dark energy is winning.
It is, and the implications of that they're huge. I mean, it means the fate of the universe, like its ultimate destiny is probably going to be determined by this mysterious force we call dark energy.
That's a heavy thought.
It is.
But it also brings up some pretty exciting possibilities. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. What if we can somehow tap into this energy, right?
Right.
This energy that's pushing the universe to expand. Talk about like a game changer.
Yeah, that's the what if. That's like captured imaginations for years. Physicists, science fiction writers, everybody. Imagine actually harnessing the energy that's shaping the cosmos.
I know. It's almost too much to think about.
The potential it's almost limitless.
So let's dive into these hypothetical dark energy machines then. I
Yeah.
mean, what would they look like? What could they even do?
Yeah.
I'm picturing like some futuristic device humming with cosmic energy, right?
It's a great image.
Maybe it looks like something out of Star Trek. Or maybe it's something that we can't even imagine yet.
Well, the truth is we don't have a blueprint, right?
Yeah.
We just don't understand dark energy well enough yet. But let's, for a second, let's indulge in a little speculation.
Okay, yeah, let's speculate. Let's say, hypothetically, we figure out dark energy, right? We crack the code,
Uh-huh.
we figure out how it works, and we figure out how to control it. Then what? What are we talking about? Like, are we talking about like solving the global energy crisis?
Potentially.
Spaceships that travel faster than light? Like, what are the possibilities here?
Yeah. I mean, the applications they're mind-boggling. Imagine a world, like a whole world powered by this inexhaustible source of clean energy.
Wow.
A world totally free from fossil fuels and all the bad stuff that comes with them,
Yeah.
The environmental consequences. Think about like what that could mean for transportation, manufacturing, space exploration, like everything we do needs energy.
It's almost like we're talking about a technological leap on par with like discovering fire or inventing the wheel. Like it's hard to even wrap our minds around how much would change.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Yeah, but hold on. You mentioned before that dark energy it's pretty spread out.
Yeah, it's diffuse.
So how could we ever collect enough of it to power, well, everything?
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Its energy density is really low.
Okay.
On a local scale. I mean, you couldn't power your house with a bucket of it or anything. But here's the thing. The universe it's vast.
It's massive.
It's unimaginably vast. And when you consider the total amount of dark energy spread across the cosmos, the numbers they're unbelievable.
So it's about tapping into that vast like cosmic reservoir.
Exactly.
Even if the concentration is low in any one place. Like kind of like how solar panels collect energy from sunlight.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
which is also spread out over a large area.
Exactly. The challenge is figuring out how to capture and concentrate that energy efficiently, right?
Right.
Much like a solar panel focuses sunlight. And that's where the real breakthroughs would need to happen.
So, okay, now let's go down the rabbit hole a bit. You mentioned the possibility of manipulating space-time itself. And that's where things get really sci-fi, right? Like
Yeah.
are we talking about faster than light travel, wormholes? Are we about to break the laws of physics here?
I mean, this is where the cosmological constant gets really interesting.
Okay.
You know, the term Einstein introduced in his theory of general relativity,
I've heard of it.
it represents this kind of energy that's just like inherent to empty space.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be, directly related to dark energy.
So if we could control dark energy, we might also be able to control the cosmological constant,
Maybe. Yeah.
which in turn could let us manipulate the very fabric of space-time.
That's the idea.
Mhm.
Imagine bending space and time to our will, creating shortcuts across vast distances. I know it sounds like pure science fiction, but theoretically it might be possible.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this topic is so fascinating. It's like we're talking about unlocking the secrets of the universe,
Mm.
right? Bending reality to our will. It's both exhilarating and kind of terrifying at the same time.
And that's a really important point. The potential of dark energy machines, it's huge, but the risks are too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about manipulating forces that govern like the very existence of the universe.
And that leads to a big question then. What could possibly go wrong with these dark energy machines? I have a feeling this is where the story takes a bit of a dark turn.
Well, it's like imagine standing on the edge of a new era, right? One where humanity could actually wield the power of the cosmos. But with that power comes a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
A really profound responsibility. We have to think about the consequences,
Right.
both the ones we intend and the ones we don't.
It's like that Pandora's box story, isn't it?
Totally.
You know, we're driven by curiosity, this desire to unlock all the secrets of the universe.
Mhm.
But what if we unleash something that we can't control?
It's a classic story, and it's one that resonates a lot here, I think. The history of science is full of discoveries that have had, both good and bad consequences.
Oh.
Think about nuclear power,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it can provide clean energy, but it also led to weapons of unimaginable destructive power.
Yeah.
And with dark energy, the stakes are even higher.
Way higher.
We're not talking about the fate of just our planet anymore. We're
Right.
talking about the fate of potentially the entire universe.
It is. It's a sobering thought.
It is. It really makes you stop and think about those unintended consequences, Like imagine accidentally messing up the balance of the universe's expansion.
Okay.
What if playing with dark energy makes the expansion speed up even more?
Right.
Pushes galaxies apart even faster.
So instead of just, harnessing this energy,
Mm.
we could actually make things worse.
It's possible.
Like, are we talking about, like, causing a cosmic collapse?
I mean, it's a possibility we can't ignore. The universe is this incredibly complex system, right? And we're still really far from understanding all the little details, all the intricacies.
Hmm.
We might think we're in control, but there's always that risk of setting off a chain reaction that we can't stop.
Okay, so then that brings us to the ethical questions around this technology.
Yeah.
Like, even if we could control dark energy, who gets to decide how it's used?
That's a big one.
Who benefits from all this limitless power and who takes on the risk?
I mean, just imagine a world where only a few people control this technology, right?
Okay.
A nation, a corporation, even just like one person.
Wow.
The potential for inequality there, for exploitation, even tyranny, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like giving someone the keys to the universe and just hoping they use them wisely.
And history's kind of shown us that, power, especially unchecked power, corrupts people,
It does.
even with the best intentions.
We've seen it again and again throughout human history. And with a technology this potent, this powerful, the potential for bad things to happen, for misuse, is just amplified tremendously. It's a scenario that demands like really careful consideration,
Yeah.
ethical guidelines, maybe even global agreements before we even think about taking the first step.
I'm also thinking about, like, the potential for for weaponization, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Any technology this powerful is going to attract the attention of people who want to use it for military advantage.
I mean, it's an uncomfortable truth, but we can't ignore it.
No.
Imagine a weapon that can actually manipulate space-time, like warp the fabric of reality. It's a level of
Right.
destruction unlike anything we've ever seen.
Scary thought.
It is.
But even if we put aside the potential for intentional harm, there's still the risk of accidents, miscalculations. I mean, we are talking about controlling the forces that literally hold the universe together.
Think of it like this. You're tinkering with the engine of a car. Right.
Yeah.
But in this case, the car is the entire universe.
Wow.
One wrong move, and you could make the whole thing stall out, or worse, explode.
Okay, that's a good analogy. But let's shift gears a little bit here. I mean, even if the risks are huge, isn't there a part of us, like that human desire to explore, to
Yeah.
push the limits, that kind of compels us to go after this technology?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. The pursuit of knowledge, the desire to understand the universe and our place in it. That's a fundamental part of being human. I think it's what drives scientific discovery. It's what drives innovation.
Yeah.
It's our constant need to push the boundaries of what's possible.
So then how do we balance that thirst for knowledge with the potentially catastrophic risks that come with manipulating dark energy?
Right.
Is there a way to be cautious and explore at the same time, to move forward safely without stopping scientific progress completely?
That's the $1,000,000 question, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like walking through a minefield. We have to be careful.
Yeah.
Take it one step at a time. Be really aware of the dangers. I think it requires a shift in how we think.
Okay.
A recognition that some knowledge might be too dangerous to pursue unless we've got, a really solid framework of ethics and safeguards in place.
So we're talking about a new kind of scientific responsibility then,
Yeah,
where it's not just about what we can do, but what we should do,
exactly.
where the potential consequences are just as important as the potential discoveries.
I think so. We need to move beyond that, naive excitement of what if and into a more thoughtful conversation about what then. What happens after we unlock these secrets of dark energy? How do we make sure that this knowledge actually helps humanity and doesn't, lead us down a path to destroying ourselves?
That's a big question.
It is.
It's a conversation that needs input from everyone, right? Not just scientists,
Oh, absolutely.
ethicists, philosophers, policymakers,
Yeah.
The public.
Everybody.
We need to grapple with these questions together as a species before we even think about crossing that line.
We do. The choices we make now, the rules we set up, the conversations we have, they're going to determine our future,
Yeah.
potentially for thousands of years to come.
So as we continue to explore this idea of dark energy machines,
Yeah.
let's keep those questions in mind. Let's imagine not just the technological possibilities, but also the ethical and societal
That
implications.
seems that's crucial.
Let's paint a picture of what a world powered by dark energy might actually look like, both the amazing utopias and the chilling dystopias. Let's think about the potential benefits and the potential risks, the hopes and the fears that come with having the power of the cosmos at our fingertips. So we've talked about the science behind dark energy and just how amazing it would be if we could harness it. But let's get practical for a minute. What would a world running on dark energy actually look like?
It really gets the imagination going. You could have, on the one hand, this utopian future
Yeah.
where humanity has blown past its limitations
Right.
and reached this level of prosperity and technological advancement that's just mind-blowing. We can barely even grasp it today.
Okay, paint me a picture of that utopia then.
Yeah.
What's life like in a world where dark energy is powering everything?
Well, imagine a world where energy isn't scarce anymore. Every house, every city, every industry, they all have access to tons of clean, sustainable energy.
Wow.
Fossil fuels are a thing of the past. Pollution's just a distant memory. And the climate crisis solved.
So no more energy bills, no more worrying about countries that control the oil supply, no more smog filling up the cities.
Exactly.
It's like we finally broke free from from all those limits, all those restrictions from limited resources.
Exactly. And with that freedom, we can finally solve some of the biggest problems that humanity's been facing.
Yeah.
We could desalinate seawater on a massive scale. I mean, we could provide clean water to even the driest places on Earth. We could power vertical farms that grow food all year round. It doesn't matter what the climate's like or the weather, the possibilities, they're endless.
Sounds like hitting the reset button on civilization,
And please, yeah.
We're not limited by how much energy we have anymore. The only limit is our imagination. But what about space travel? Is this where we finally get to that Star Trek future, where we're out there exploring the galaxy?
Imagine spaceships, right,
Yeah.
that aren't held back by those old chemical rockets anymore. They're propelled across the universe by the same energy that's making it expand.
Wow.
We could reach faraway stars, explore totally new worlds, maybe even meet other civilizations.
Okay, I'm definitely sold on this utopia.
It's pretty amazing to think about.
But let's be real for a sec. Every rose has its thorns.
Of course.
What about the potential downsides of a world powered by dark energy, even in the best case scenario?
Well, even in a utopia, there are always going to be challenges, right?
Yeah.
Things we don't see coming. And I think one of the biggest ones would be figuring out how to transition to a dark energy economy. I mean, there are whole industries built around fossil fuels,
Yeah.
and they'd be obsolete overnight. We'd have to find new ways to manage resources, to make sure wealth is distributed fairly, and to make sure everyone benefits from this abundance of energy.
So even with unlimited energy, we'd still have to deal with social and economic inequality.
I think so, yeah.
We'd still have to figure out how to build a just and fair society.
Technology alone can't solve those problems. It's a good reminder that even in a world where everything seems possible, human nature is still human nature, with all its good and bad sides.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of humbling, It's like we can't escape our own baggage, even if we're like flying around the galaxy in spaceships.
I think that's true.
Okay, but now for the flip side, we talked about the utopian potential.
Right.
But what about the dystopian possibilities? Like, what happens if this dark energy technology gets into the wrong hands?
That's where things get a lot more unsettling. Imagine a world where dark energy's been weaponized, where countries or just like rogue groups have
Yeah.
the power to manipulate space-time and use it for destructive purposes.
So we're talking more than just like super weapons, right?
Right.
This is the ability to literally change reality,
Yeah.
to bend the laws of physics to someone's will.
Exactly. Imagine a weapon that can create black holes or tear apart the fabric of space-time or even mess with how time flows. It's a level of power that's almost impossible to comprehend, and the potential for misuse, it's terrifying.
It's like giving a child a loaded gun.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
consequences could be disastrous.
Absolutely.
And even if we ignore the possibility of people intentionally using it for harm, there's still the risk of accidents.
Of course.
Unintended consequences.
Right.
We've talked about the potential for destabilizing the universe's expansion. Like what if someone makes a mistake, they miscalculate something and they trigger a chain reaction that we can't stop.
That's the biggest fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
That in trying to harness this power of the cosmos, we accidentally unleash forces that destroy us or even worse, unravel the whole fabric of existence.
It's a lot to take in. The potential benefits of this dark energy technology, they're huge,
They are.
but the risks are just as big.
That's right.
It's like the ultimate double-edged sword,
Oh, it is.
And it really makes you think about whether we're ready for this kind of power.
It forces us to look at our own limitations, our
Yeah.
capacity for good and bad, and the huge responsibility that comes with scientific progress.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into dark energy machines, we're left with more questions than answers.
I think that's fair to say.
But I think that's kind of the point,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
This isn't just a technological challenge. This is a philosophical one.
It
It
is.
challenges our values, our ethics, our vision for the future.
I think you're right. It's a call to really think deeply about this, to have open and honest conversations, and to approach all of this complexity with humility and caution.
Because at the end of the day, the future of dark energy, maybe even the future of the universe itself, it might depend on the choices we make right now.
It might.
And to everyone listening, we leave you with this. The power to shape the future, it's in all of our hands. Let's make sure we use it wisely. All right, so we've covered the science of dark energy and just all the crazy potential if we could actually use it. But let's get real here for a second. What would a world actually powered by dark energy look like?
It's a question that, it really gets the imagination going. I mean, on the one hand, you've got this potential for like a true utopia,
Okay.
a world where humanity's just blown past all its limits, and we've reached this level of prosperity and technological advancement that we can't even fathom today.
Okay, so paint me that picture. What's life like in this dark energy utopia?
Imagine a world, right, where energy isn't a scarce resource anymore.
Yeah.
Every home, every city, every single industry, they all have access to just an abundance of clean energy,
Wow.
sustainable power.
Yeah.
Fossil fuels are just a relic of the past.
Gone.
Pollution is a distant memory, and the climate crisis, it's been solved.
So no more energy bills, no more relying on those oil-rich countries, no more cities choked with smog.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we finally hit that reset button on civilization.
It is.
We're not held back by energy scarcity anymore. Like the only limit is our imagination.
I like that.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just our imagination.
But what about space travel then? Is this how we finally reach that Star Trek future where we're cruising around the galaxy?
Think about it. Starships that aren't using those old chemical rockets anymore.
Okay.
They're zipping across these vast distances of space using the very energy that's causing the universe to expand.
Wow.
We could reach other star systems, explore new planets, maybe even, run into other intelligent life out there.
Okay, I'm fully on board with this utopian vision. This sounds amazing.
It's pretty incredible to consider, yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Every rose has its thorns.
Right, of course.
What about the downsides? Like even in the best case scenario, what are the potential problems with a dark energy powered world?
Well, even in a utopia, there are always going to be challenges, right?
Yes.
Things we don't see coming. And I think one of the biggest ones would be, how do we actually transition to a dark energy economy? There are entire industries, entire ways of life that are built around fossil fuels today.
Right. Yeah.
And those would become obsolete overnight.
Wow.
We'd have to find new ways to manage resources, to make sure wealth is distributed fairly, to ensure that everyone benefits from this abundance of energy.
So even with unlimited energy, we'd still have to deal with social and economic inequality.
I think so, yeah. It's not a magic solution to those problems. We'd
Okay.
still have to figure out how to create a society that's truly just and fair.
Yeah.
Technology alone can't solve those kinds of problems.
Hmm.
It reminds us that even in a world of almost limitless possibilities, human nature, with all its good and bad, it's still a constant.
It's a humbling thought. It's like even if we're jetting around the galaxy in starships, we can't escape, our own baggage.
That's true. We bring ourselves with us wherever we go.
Okay, well now for the other side of the coin. We've talked about the utopian potential.
Uh-huh.
But what about the dystopian possibilities? Like what if this dark energy technology gets into the wrong hands?
That's when things get really, really unsettling. Imagine a world where dark energy has been turned into weapons,
Okay.
where countries or just like these rogue groups, they have the power to actually manipulate space-time for for destructive purposes.
So we're talking more than just like, super weapons here. Right?
No, we are.
This is like the ability to literally reshape reality.
It is.
To bend physics to someone's will.
Exactly. I mean, imagine a weapon that could create like black holes.
Right.
Or rip apart like the fabric of space-time.
Wow.
Or even mess with how time flows.
That's scary.
It's a level of power that's just almost impossible to truly grasp, and the potential for bad things to happen, for misuse. It's terrifying.
It's like giving a loaded gun to a child.
Yeah, it really is.
The consequences would be catastrophic.
You would.
And even if we put aside the idea of people intentionally using it for bad, there's still the risk of accidents.
Yeah, there's always that.
Of unintended consequences. Like we talked about the potential to destabilize the universe's expansion.
Right.
Like what if someone messes up, they miscalculate and they trigger this chain reaction that we just can't control.
That's the ultimate nightmare scenario, right?
Yeah.
That by trying to harness this incredible power, this power of the cosmos, we end up unleashing forces that destroy us, or even worse, unravel the entire fabric of existence.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential benefits of this dark energy technology, they're huge, like massive.
Guys are massive, yeah.
But the risks they're just as big.
They are.
It's like the ultimate double-edged sword,
It really is. It really is.
And it forces us to really ask ourselves, are we ready for this kind of power?
It makes us confront our own limitations.
Yeah.
Our capacity for both good and evil, and the immense responsibility that comes with scientific progress.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of dark energy machines, I think we're left with more questions than answers.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
But isn't that kind of the point?
I think so.
This isn't just a technological puzzle to solve. It's a philosophical one. It challenges our values, our ethics, our whole vision for the future.
It makes us think about who we are and who we want to be.
And to everyone listening, we leave you with this. The power to shape the future, it's in our hands. Let's just make sure we use it wisely.